Right now, world leaders are in Ukraine to mark 3 years since the start of Russia's war there.
Just hours ago, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky announced he'll be willing to step down from office if that move would lead to peace and Ukraine's entry into NATO. Zelensky is also requesting a meeting with President Donald Trump to discuss any kind of exchange Ukrainian resources for American aid.
Well, happening today, several events will be held to show support for the Ukrainian community. Your reporter Marcy Jones is live in Cromwell, right outside the Ukrainian American Cultural Center of Connecticut. Marcy, what can you tell us about what's happening today?
Good morning. Well, this is obviously a very somber anniversary, one that really serves as a reminder of just how many folks here in Connecticut have ties to loved ones in Ukraine. Here's what's happening today. Today's events follow a peaceful rally and prayer service yesterday at the Capitol. Sunday was a sea of yellow and blue, dozens of people showing up to show their support for their loved ones in Ukraine. Today on the Yale campus, starting at noon, everyone is invited to experience the Unused Diploma exhibition, a tribute to the students whose lives were tragically cut short. Then at 4, there will be a women's table in front of Sterling Library in remembrance and solidarity to honor those who sacrificed their lives for the war. Following the event at Sterling Library, there will be a reception where everyone is invited to attend to continue the discussion. Your reporter in Cromwell, Marcy Jones, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.